The cobblestone streets of 1904 Sicily tell stories that Hollywood's glamorized mob films rarely touch. Mafia: The Old Country doesn't just transport you to organized crime's birthplace. It forces you to understand why desperate men chose violence over starvation. After Mafia III's open-world misstep left many fans disappointed, Hangar 13 has crafted something far more intimate and authentic. This prequel ditches the bloated structure that plagued its predecessor, returning to the tight story-driven formula that made the original games legendary. You're not clearing map icons or grinding repetitive side missions. Instead, you're following Enzo Favara's transformation from sulfur mine slave to Teresi family enforcer, and every moment feels purposeful. The opening hours deliberately crawl at a snail's pace, something that might frustrate action-hungry players. But there's genius in this design choice. You spend genuine time toiling in those hellish sulfur mines, loading wine crates, performing backbreaking labor that defines Enzo's reality. When Don Teresi finally offers him escape through violence, you understand completely why he accepts. Sicily itself becomes a character worth celebrating. The sun-baked countryside, crumbling ruins, and Mediterranean vistas create an atmosphere so thick you can practically taste the dust on mountain roads. Hangar 13 switched from their proprietary engine to Unreal Engine 5, and while the visual upgrade isn't revolutionary, the attention to period details is remarkable. Those primitive 1904 automobiles sound absolutely perfect. Whining chain drives and lumpy engine burbles that add richness to every drive across the island. The voice acting deserves special mention too. Johnny Santiago's portrayal of Don Teresi carries the quiet intensity of someone genuinely dangerous. He stalks through scenes with the kind of presence that makes hardened killers follow orders without question. It's exactly what this type of character needs. Combat feels familiar, yet refined. The third-person shooting follows standard cover mechanics, but the era-appropriate weapons, revolvers, repeating rifles, various shotguns, give encounters a distinctly Western flavor. Sometimes you're trading gunfire on horseback, other times facing down opponents who look like they wandered off a Sergio Leone set. But it's the stealth system that really impresses me. Previous Mafia games treated sneaking as an afterthought, but The Old Country makes it genuinely enjoyable. You can toss coins for distraction, hide bodies in conveniently placed boxes, and approach situations with legitimate tactical options. Sure, the enemy AI isn't always sharp, and sometimes you'll find yourself flanked, yet still have time to react. But the stealth feels like a proper system rather than tacked-on obligation. The new knife-fighting mechanics add welcome variety to confrontations. These one-on-one duels involve slashing, parrying, and dodging in what amounts to simple but satisfying boss encounters. They look appropriately bloody and brutal, even if the stakes sometimes feel lower than intended due to scripted health regeneration mid-fight. One minor complaint: the knife durability system feels unnecessarily fiddly. Having your blade become too dull to stab enemies after a few kills breaks immersion, especially when whetstones aren't always available. I found myself strangling targets instead of using stealth kills just to avoid this mechanic. The 13-hour campaign hits familiar beats: loyal friend, stern Don, treacherous rivals, forbidden romance, but the execution elevates these tropes. The writing understands that organized crime emerged from economic desperation, not romanticized notions of honor and respect. Enzo's journey from peasant to killer feels tragically inevitable rather than glamorous. There are nice connections to previous series entries for longtime fans, though I won't spoil those moments. The structure mirrors the original Mafia's approach: linear, focused, and driven entirely by narrative momentum. Some missions offer multiple approach options while others follow set paths, but even the scripted sequences feel cinematic rather than restrictive. The pacing builds effectively toward a finale that genuinely surprised me. Without revealing specifics, let me say the ending provides both resolution and food for thought, exactly what this type of story needs. Mafia: The Old Country won't revolutionize third-person action games, but it succeeds where it matters most. The authentic atmosphere, strong voice acting, and focused storytelling create an experience that feels both familiar and fresh. Yes, some technical issues persist. Occasional texture pop-in, weapon clipping through cover, that jarring 30 frames per second cutscene limitation. But these problems never break the immersion completely. This game understands what made the Mafia series special in the first place. It's not about power fantasies or open-world checkbox completion. It's about understanding how ordinary people get pulled into extraordinary violence, how poverty and desperation shape choices that seem unthinkable from comfortable distance. For series veterans disappointed by Mafia III's direction, the Old Country offers redemption. For newcomers curious about organized crime's origins, it provides education wrapped in entertainment. The gameplay may be conventional, but the heart beats authentically Sicilian. Sometimes the most effective games aren't the most innovative ones. They're the ones that execute familiar formulas with genuine passion and understanding. Mafia: The Old Country delivers exactly that kind of experience.